to Cindy's Library. This is Cindy, and today I'm going to talk about what I finished reading in the second half of the month of September. Because believe it or not, it is October 1st, so it is time to finish up September. So let's do it. I read The Merchant of Venice, which is by William Shakespeare. You have the eponymous Merchant of Venice, Shylock. I forget everyone's names, but he has a grudge against, let's see, yes, Antonio. He has a grudge against Antonio. Antonio hasn't always treated him very nicely. Antonio, in the meanwhile, has agreed to lend his friend Bassanio money to go woo Portia, who he loves, and well, there's a whole thing about that, very fairy tale-esque. And there's a great courtroom scene towards the end, so well worth reading, for sure. Let's see, I also read, Sarah's Cottage, to go with Sarah Morris Remembers. That's the second part of the duology, which I enjoyed. We continue the adventures of Sarah, probably for another 15 years or so from the point where we left off, maybe a bit more. And lots happen, and I can tell you there is a cottage that plays an important part for a lot of this. So yeah, rather a family saga, I would say. Let's see. Oh, I also read Witch Week and The Magicians of Caprona by Diana Wynne Jones, books 3 and 4 in the Customancy series. In Witch Week, we are taken to a world where things seem very wrong, mostly because magic is real but outlawed. And we focus on a school for witch orphans because sadly, yes, they are burning witches in this world. And things go on from there. And of course, Customancy has to get involved at some point. The Magicians of Caprona, kind of Romeo and Juliet. We had the Montoyas, I think, and the Petruccios. Now, these are in Customancy's own world, so nothing unusual about there being magic. And apparently, once Senor Petruccio and Senor Montagna were the best of friends, but something happened with their descendants along the way and they hate each other. So it's rather a Romeo and Juliet situation in some ways. And in the meantime, there's trouble coming to the city of Caprona, and Crestomancy gets involved, obviously. But beyond that, I'll let you read to find the rest. I also read and quite enjoyed The Five Windows by D.E. Stevenson. This is the story of David Kirk. We start when he's probably about 5 or 6 years old, through his marriage, see him develop, and The Five Windows is an appropriate title because this book is divided up into 5 different houses that he lives in over this time, from his childhood home to where he's eventually going to take his bride to. So I quite enjoyed it. It's just a sweet story. bit of a rough part in the middle, but it really shows the emphasis between the life David Kirk is used to and wants and being thrown in the middle of London in the first time. Let's see, I also read A Study in Statescraft, the memoirs of Mycroft Holmes. This is edited by Orlando Pearson, has 5 short stories in here, all featuring Mycroft Holmes, written by him or written by Dr. Watson, but only found recently, supposedly. And we have, let's see, some speculation with the government. We have some potential problems with honors. We have another issue that arrives towards the end of World War I, and of course the Spanish influenza is going on at the same time. I'm trying to remember all of them. Well, the last one is the crisis caused when the King of England wants to marry an American and a divorcee. So these are based all on things that actually happened. And the interesting thing about them is, assuming for a moment that Mycroft Holmes actually did exist, well, we don't know very much about him, but what little we do know him from the original Sherlock Holmes stories says he basically is the British government. And so, he would be right in the thick of all of these things behind the scenes. And the right word in one place could make a huge difference in the outcome for the British Empire. So there is that. And then I read, or rather listened to, Shakespeare Biography by Peter Ackroyd, well known for some other historical and biographical books. In fact, he's done biographies of cities too, if I am not mistaken, which makes perfect sense for this book because we really don't know so much about Shakespeare. There's a ton we don't know. But there are some things we do know. I mean, if we see Shakespeare's signature on a legal document or making a land purchase or something like that, we can talk about that. We know where he lived in Stratford-upon-Avon and in London, so we can talk about those places and the various theaters he went to. Sometimes we know where his performing troupe would travel, especially if the theaters were closed in London due to plague. We know who his neighbors were, who the actors he worked with were, or the businessmen who owned the companies were. We also have his plays. So I would say this is as much a locale or a biography of the locale and the times of Shakespeare, especially Stratford-upon-Avon and London, as it is a biography of Shakespeare himself with plenty of a look at his literature as well. All of the plays get talked about. If other people wrote about going to see the plays and what they thought. We get their reactions. We get information about the printing of the quartos and folios and things like that during Shakespeare's lifetime. So, for not knowing that much about Shakespeare, he has told us pretty much as much as possible about what we can figure about Shakespeare. If not directly, then at least his milieu and his works. So I found it quite interesting. So I finished up Shakespeare with The Merchant of Venice and Shakespeare, a Biography. Shaketember, I would say, was a great success. Greatly enjoyed reading some new Shakespeare plays and the biography as well. More plays to read, of course, but one at a time. I'm sure next Shaketember I'll have the chance to read more. Anyway, that is how my September reading ended. I hope your reading was just as well. Did you participate in Shaketember or Shorty September perhaps, or something else? Or did you just read some wonderful books? Love to hear about it down below. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly do appreciate it. So until next time, I hope we all stay safe and healthy, and as always, happy reading.